Hi! Oh, happy new year! Okay, obviously it's not quite the start of the year anymore. I thought this was going to be my first video of the year. It was the first one I was filming, but things happened and it got delayed. Anyway, back to the video. We made it through 2020. We are here in 2021 and I have a lot of video ideas I'm really excited to make this year. So, first of all, one of the things that I really want to do more this year is embroidery. So I've done embroidery a little bit in the past and I so enjoyed it. It was so much fun. It was so relaxing to do and I really want to do more. Today I'm going to be embroidering this bucket hat here. So I got this bucket hat not too long ago. It was from Kmart. It was only $4 and every time I see it, every time I look at it, I'm like, I want to embroider that. I want to embroider that. I really just want to embroider that. So today I'm finally going to embroider it. Now I do have a design in my head, but I'm not like set on it. So I'm imagining we have a whole lot of flowers growing up from here and maybe some little bees and butterflies along here. That's what I'm imagining, but I'm open to inspiration. So we're going to go on Pinterest and see if I find anything else that sparks my excitement, and maybe I will find some new things to incorporate into my design in my head. Okay, Pinterest. So let's have a look at my embroidery board first of all. Let's see what I've already liked. Pretty much what I was just sharing with you, that I want like this, like flowers growing out of that seam. How awesome does that look? Oh my god, I want to embroider shoes so bad, but we're not doing that today. We're embroidering hats. So I have a lot of different clothing items here that people have embroidered. Oh my god, that butterfly, that is so cute. I feel like that might be a bit like too detailed to do small on the bucket hat, but I'm doing that sometime in the future. I'm kind of just looking at the type of things I could embroider. But yeah, like this kind of thing. See, they're like growing out of the seam. How cool is that? And that is all we have on my board. So if we're looking up embroidering a bucket hat, most of this stuff is flowers and I'm kind of on board with the flower idea anyway. So I think that'll work. I've got some butterflies. A lot of this actually looks like it's machine embroidered, but we're not doing that today because I don't own an embroidery machine. Things like this do look really cute, like when you just have like a single thing in the middle of the design. But I feel like I'm committed to the flowers. I was like, I'm open to inspiration, but I don't think I am. Okay, I feel like that's enough inspiration because clearly I'm not changing my mind. What happened to my hair? So we're gonna go with this flower theme. We're gonna be growing flowers out of the theme. Now it sounds good in theory, but I have no idea how to do it. But not gonna let that stop me. I will learn how to do some flowers. What I'm most imagining is green and purple. So when I said this, I was 100% imagining lavender in my mind. I just somehow failed to say that, and I failed to share that I had made the decision that I wanted my hat to be covered in lavender, and I just go on for the rest of the video like you already know that. So now you know. Like green for the stems, purple for the flowers. I have a few shades of purple in my embroidery floss. Let's get it out. I don't store my embroidery floss very well. It's very tangled, but these are the three that I am looking at. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we've got a lighter purple, a darker purple, and this green. Now I don't want to embroider straight onto the bucket hat because I've never embroidered lavender before. So I'm going to do a few test runs. I've got to do some practicing on just some plain fabric, and then I shall work on the hat. So to practice my lavender, I just got some spare fabric that I had and set it up in my embroidery hoop, and then I looked on Pinterest again. So I was just looking at like lots of different ways you could do lavender. There are a lot of ones that use little French knots to do the lavender, but I find French knots really annoying. So I found this one I really liked that had all the petals using the lazy daisy stitch. It's a pretty easy stitch to do and kind of the only stitch I know how to do. Like I know how to do like your basic running stitch and like back stitch, that kind of stuff. But in terms of fancy stitches, this is all I know how to do, so that's what I was going to stick with. Now in terms of placing where the actual petals were going to go, I could see in this photo here they'd kind of just sketched out where they wanted their petals to go, so I tried doing that. But I didn't want to sketch all of them out because like I kind of already felt like I wasn't going to stick to that. So I sketched out the line, I did the top petals, and like I predicted, I found them annoying. I didn't stick to them, so for the rest of my practices I didn't draw out the petals, I just drew out the lines, and I started each of my lazy daisy stitches like on that line. And so I did like a lot of trial and error. I did them in a lot of different ways to try and figure out which one I liked the best, and in the end I was pretty sure I liked this one the best, but then I wanted to do like a little bit more practicing because I didn't feel quite ready to start the bucket hat yet. I did a few that were good, a lot that were horrible, and I think I'm just about ready to start the hat. My only problem is I made a discovery. I have hardly any purple thread left, which might be an issue. I might have to order some more, and the thing is I know if I'm going to be able to get this exact purple thread again, so I don't want to start it because then I might not have enough to finish the whole thing. So I'm going to order it now and then I will start the bucket hat. I mean, like I'll wait till it arrives and then I'll start the bucket hat. You catch me? Okay, changing plans. So I found the embroidery kit that these original threads came from. Okay, just to clarify, when I said found, I mean like I found it on Amazon.com. I didn't find more thread in my room. So I can get the exact same colour and it will arrive tomorrow, thanks Amazon! Which means I can get started on my lavenders now. So I used this little tiny embroidery hoop to hold the fabric of the bucket hat tight, and then I finally got started embroidering the lavenders on the hat. So I decided to do like 5 layers of petals. There was no reason for it, I just thought that that looked nice. And then I moved on to the stem. So for the stem, I literally just did like a basic back stitch and I just did it like straight down to the seam of the hat. It was actually really difficult to embroider around the seam because that was where all the fabric met. So I was trying to push my needle through like 4 layers of fabric. Anyway, with great difficulty, I did manage to do it. And that should have been the first flower complete. But then I decided that I didn't like the green that I had used. So I unpicked the whole stem and then I got out every green embroidery thread that I had and I decided that I hated all of them. So then I went to steal my sister's embroidery threads and I also decided that I hated all of them. However, there was one I hated slightly less than all the other ones, so I ended up redoing the stem in that colour. Then it was finally time to get working on the second flower, which I pretty much did exactly the same to the first one. I just used the lighter purple thread instead of the darker purple one. But then once I had finished doing the petals, I was looking at the stem of the other flower and I was like, I don't like it, I preferred the original one. So I unpicked it all and redid it in the original colour. So I did a whole lot of pointless time wasting by looking at all the green threads and deciding that I didn't like it in the end and having to redo what I originally did, but whatever. We finally finished our first 2 flowers. So I spent the rest of that night working on the flowers to go all the way around the bucket hat, and I think I had about 8 done by that night. And then the next day, my new threads arrived. So my threads just arrived and I didn't even know what to do because I ordered the same packet that the threads that I've already used came from and they're completely different. The only purple that's in the whole kit is this one and it doesn't match either of them, like at all. And now I don't know what to do because I don't have any more of that and I've already done this much and I'm upset. This is so frustrating. I should have just waited until they arrived and not use what little I had left. I loved the way these colours looked. And I thought I was ordering the same thing, but clearly not. What am I meant to do now? Well, what I ended up doing was going to the craft store to try and match the colours I had already on my hat to some new threads that I could use to finish off the hat. Now, unfortunately, they didn't have like the exact same shades. They had some that were very close and I was like, this will have to do. I really wanted some of the exact same shades, but it just wasn't meant to be. For a while there, I considered unpicking all the flowers that I'd already done and replacing it with the new threads. I was like, maybe I should just buy a new bucket hat and start all over again. But I ended up just continuing. I did flowers the whole way around, and to be honest, you can't really tell where the difference is. If you look closely and you compare like the flowers right next to each other, you can tell that it's slightly different. But overall, like if I'm wearing it at a distance, no one's gonna be like, those threads are a few shades off. Especially because I have this alternating pattern, so it's not like any of the same colour flowers are actually right next to each other. But anyway, as you can see, I have finally completed the bucket hat. So I feel like I've been working on this for absolutely forever and I'm not 100% happy with how it came out. Ideally all the threads would have been the same colour, but the biggest thing is I don't know what happened here. Like, can you see that? Like, what? I think what happened was, honestly, towards the end I was getting tired of moving the embroidery ring around for every single flower. It was just tiresome and it kept coming loose and I kept having to retighten it and I just got annoyed by the whole process. I was like, I don't really need this embroidery hoop, do I? So I was just doing them straight onto the hat. But because the fabric wasn't pulled tight, I think somehow some of like the inner lining might have got caught in the wrong spot and developed this kind of like bulge that we see here. Like, it's not like a huge deal, but it's kind of annoying. And I try and fix it, but I honestly just can't tell where the problem happened. And I think it might be like a gradual thing that kind of happened the whole way around the hat. So I'd have to completely redo it and like, I'm not gonna do that. But overall, hey, it's a pretty good hat. Like if I'm just wearing it like this, you can't really tell that anything's wrong. I just look like I'm wearing a snazzy bucket hat. Now I did think in the beginning of this video that I might do like some little bees or butterflies flying through. I am just so done with this bucket hat. I don't want to add anything else to it. I'm like, it's done, it's done. I'm not adding anything more. This is it. This is finished. I'm done. I'm over it. So this is it. This is the whole bucket hat. So before we finish the video, I thought I'd just give you a quick close-up. So as you can see, none of these are perfect. They're all a little bit different, but like that's kind of how flowers work. They're all kind of different heights, but I actually wanted them to be like that, so that's okay. This is the side that the color change occurs on. So I don't know if you can tell. I can tell. It seems glaringly obvious to me. If you want to point it out, this section is the old thread. The rest of them are the new thread. And then all of this side, oh my gosh, what happened there? Hello? And then all of this side here is the new thread. And then here is that bulge I was talking about. You can see on the inside of the hat, the fabric is kind of stretched here. So something went wrong along the line, but I can't be bothered fixing it. This is what we have, and not perfect, but hey, I think it's pretty cute overall. Thank you for being with me on this journey of embroidering my bucket hat. That is all for today. I will see you again very soon. Bye!